dive into something pretty fascinating, the story of secrets. We're going to be exploring the ideas from the Midnight Foundation's incredible film, The History of Secrets. It's a journey that shows how keeping things private has shaped, well, pretty much everything, from ancient empires all the way to that phone sitting in your pocket right now.
You know the one I'm talking about, right? You see it 100 times a day. That tiny little padlock on your messaging app, your web browser when you're banking. We all know it means security, privacy. But what if I told you that little icon is actually the very end of an absolutely epic story? Yeah, you heard that right. 3,500 years. The technology that makes that little lock work is the result of a human quest for privacy that started way, way before the Iron Age. It is a story packed with war, love, commerce, and revolution. So let's do this. We're going to take a lightning fast trip through this history. We're starting with ancient clay tablets from Mesopotamia, and we're going to end up talking about the quantum computers of tomorrow. So yeah, buckle up.
Think of our journey in 4 big acts. We'll kick things off in the ancient world, where secrets were first being written down. Then, we'll see how massive empires turned those secrets into tools of power. We're going to hit a huge turning point in the 1940s during the World Wars, which, believe it or not, brings us right into the digital age and the massive challenges we're facing today. Way back in the beginning, secrets were really all about two things: making money and, well, love. You had Mesopotamian scribes using simple codes to hide their secret formulas for valuable pottery glazes. You could call it the world's first intellectual property. And at the same time, you had texts like the Kama Sutra, which actually included ciphers so lovers could write to each other in private. Okay, so as empires start popping up, secrecy gets a major upgrade. It becomes a tool of war, a tool of power. The Spartans are a great example. They used this cool device called a cytale. It was basically just a wooden rod of a very specific thickness. They'd wrap a leather strip around it, write their message, and then unwrap it. If a messenger got caught, the strip was just a bunch of random letters, total gibberish. You needed the exact same size rod to read it. So simple, but for its time, incredibly powerful. All right, let's hit the fast forward button. I mean, way forward, by a couple of thousand years. The tools for keeping secrets have gotten way more complex, but the stakes, they're about to become higher than they have ever been in human history. We're landing in one single game-changing decade, the 1940s, where the outcome of the Second World War is literally going to hang on this battle of secrets. Trying to break Germany's Enigma code was just a monumental task. The codebreakers at Bletchley Park quickly realized there was no way they could do it by hand. So they built a machine to do it. That machine was called Colossus, and it was, for all intents and purposes, the world's first programmable digital computer. And here's the kicker. In a very real way, to win the war, they had to invent the modern digital age. So we've seen how people have kept secrets throughout history. But the source material asks a much deeper question. Why? The common wisdom is that if you want privacy, you must have something to hide. But that's not the real story, not even close. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. It shows this massive shift in how we should think about privacy. On the one hand, you've got the negative view, right? That privacy is for hiding bad stuff, it's antisocial. But on the other side, you see the real purpose. Privacy isn't about hiding, it's about protecting. Protecting the very things that make a society worth living in: our relationships, our economy, and our freedom to speak and think. Let's dig into that. First up, association. I mean, just think about it in your own life. To build real trust, to have a genuine connection with someone, you need a private space where you can talk freely without worrying about who's listening. That's always been true. From those ancient ciphers in the Kama Sutra, all the way to the end-to-end encryption on your phone today, privacy is what lets real human bonds form. Second, commerce. And this goes all the way back to those Mesopotamian potters, right? Economic value so often comes from secret. It could be a unique recipe, a game-changing algorithm, a new business strategy. Cryptography is what protects that value. It's what allows people and companies to innovate, to compete, and to trade. And third, expression. And honestly, this one might be the most important of all. Every big idea that changed the world, whether it was scientific, political, or artistic, was radical at first. Privacy creates a safe harbor, a little incubator, where those new, fragile ideas can be talked about and developed without their creators getting immediately shut down by the powers that be. It's the engine of progress. So we get why secrets are so important. But here's the thing. For most of history, only a very select group of people actually had the power to keep them. The next chapter in this story is all about a truly radical shift,
how this power moved from the hands of kings and into the hands of anyone with a keyboard. For literally thousands of years, if you wanted strong codes, you had to be a king, a general, a spy. It was a tool of the powerful. But then, in the late 20th century, something completely wild happened. The rise of the internet and open source software sparked a revolution. It took this incredible power and handed it to everyone. That little lock icon on your phone, that's the symbol of this great handover.
And that brings us right back to today. We've all inherited this amazing 3,500-year-old legacy of privacy tools. But, the story doesn't just end there. We are now facing a whole new set of challenges, threats that could unravel all of it. So after all this time, all this innovation, this constant cat and mouse game of making and breaking codes, what's the next big boss battle? Where's the threat coming from now? Well, the threats are coming from a couple of different directions, and they're big ones. First, there's the tech itself. Quantum computers are on the horizon, and one day they could become powerful enough to just shatter the encryption we all depend on. And second, there's a shift in society. The rise of mass data collection and super sophisticated AI surveillance, which can chew away at our privacy in ways we've never seen before.
So what do we do? Is there a path forward? Propose an idea they call rational privacy. The goal isn't to create some lawless, unbreakable digital fortress. It's about designing new kinds of secure apps that protect our privacy by default, but that are still compatible with real-world rules and regulations when they absolutely have to be. It's all about finding that crucial balance.
And this quote just nails it, right? It gets right to the heart of why this matters so much right now. We're not just talking about hiding a few messages anymore. In a world with AI that can analyze every bit of our data and public systems that can record our actions forever, strong cryptography is essential. It becomes about digital sovereignty, the basic freedom to actually control our own digital lives. So we'll end with this question for you. After this 3,500-year journey, the power to protect your own information is for the first time in your hands. So in a world that seems to see more and more every day, what is the one secret that you need to protect? What is essential for your relationships, your work, your ideas? It's something to think about.